Good morning, everyone. Well, hopefully you're not superstitious because today's Friday the 13th. We have them pop up every now and then. And some people say, oh, everything's going to go wrong on Friday the 13th. Well, if you want it to go wrong, it'll go wrong, just say, be an optimist and not a pessimist. But today is also the feast of St. Anthony of Padua. Now, we should be familiar with the working of St. Anthony of Padua because the patron saint of the lost and found. And many of us appeal to him saying, please help me to find things that I've lost. And we managed to find them somehow. And so how does St. Anthony do this? Well, gives us inspiration, gives us guidance, doesn't just present them to us on a plate, but we involve him in the process. But he's an interesting man to look at. So he was an Augustinian monk who was very impressed by the work of Franciscans. In particular, noticed how 5 Franciscan friars actually were martyred, gave their lives for their faith. And he thought, well, that was something that really does show something about their faith. And he was privileged to meet St. Francis himself. And so that's the time in which he lived. He was an outstanding preacher, full of gentleness, but also severely critical of anything that was wicked, particularly when it involved other members of the clergy. So in terms of the way in which he preached, he was saying, here's the message, but let's make sure that we understand it's not negotiable. And so he was firm, but the way in which he presented it was hopefully appealing to people. Some of you have commented on some of my homilies, and some of you may even have said good things. Now, that's not true. Many of you have. Thank you. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm not looking for compliments. But as it says in the first reading today, which is from the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, I'm just the vessel. I'm just the means for the message to come to you. What comes from the vessel is the work of the Holy Spirit. Otherwise, it'll simply stay in the vessel all the time. And that's much of what Jesus has been saying this week too. He's given us so much. He's given us abilities. He's given us talents. And it's not just for us to keep. We're not supposed to just hide them under the bed. We're not supposed to hide them in our vessel, but to share them with others. Sharing, as Jesus said, applies to all of us. And we all need to be happy in doing what Jesus wants us to do. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.